2026 is the year everyone talks about AI agents. Your boss will ask about them, your competitors will claim they use them, and if you're watching from the sidelines, you might feel behind. But when you try to learn, the explanations are either way too basic or way too technical. But here's the truth, agents are actually easier to understand than they first appear, even if you have zero technical background. This video breaks down what they are, when it makes sense to use them, and how to get started. And by the end, you'll know more than 95% of the people talking about them. So let's go. We're going to follow a simple 1, 2, 3 learning path by starting with basic automation, moving on to AI workflows, and then finally AI agents. We'll follow one simple customer service example through all 3 levels so that you can see exactly what changes at each step. Let's start with the foundation. All right, so what is automation? Automation is making a machine do a single repetitive task based on a simple trigger. Think of it as simply if this, then that. A trigger happens which causes a single action. Let me give you a business example of this with a visualization inside of a tool called N8N, which I'll talk about more later on in the video. Let's say you're handling customer requests and you need to send them to the right team. Here's how automation handles this. An automation would be, if I receive a sales form, then automatically send the request to the sales team. So as you can see here, anytime a form is filled out by a customer, this is what's going to start the workflow. This is the trigger. Now this next step is going to check to see if the form is equal to a certain value, either a sales request or a customer service request. If the request type is a sales request, it's going to the sales team path. If it's a customer service request, it'll go to the customer service path. That's it. Simple, predictable, reliable. Here's how automation works under the hood. It follows exact rules. No thinking, no exceptions, no changes. Same steps, same order every single time. And it moves information from one place to another based on those rules. You've probably seen automation in action even if you didn't know that's what it was called. For example, you fill out a form, you get an instant confirmation email. You have a new sale, it gets automatically updated to your spreadsheet. A lead books a call and automatically enters your pipeline. Monday at 9 a.m., you get a reminder email. All level 1 automation, and they work great. Now let's say you had a customer service request, but it actually should have gone to the sales team, but they selected the wrong form or selected the wrong option on the form. Well, automations tend to be very rigid. An automation is going to go based on a predefined path. It can't read the message. It can't understand the context. It can't make a judgment call. It just follows the exact rules that you programmed. That's where AI workflows come in, which is level 2 automation. But before we get to that, the key to even getting to the point where you can set up AI workflows is being able to leverage individual AI tools well. And if you want an accelerated roadmap to get you up to speed on AI fast, then I suggest you take a look at this free holiday bundle from HubSpot. I'll link it in the description box below. This bundle is your all-in-one guide to actually using AI. It walks you through everything from picking the right apps and writing better prompts to the big picture stuff like how to work faster and find new ways to make money. Inside, you'll get a 7-day advanced ChatGPT course teaching you expert-level prompting, an AI productivity stack with 50 tools and specific workflows for each, a guide on 200+ ways to make money with AI, and more. My favorite part is the 10x productivity with AI section, which focuses on high-level strategies for implementing AI in the workplace without needing deep technical skills. It's super practical and even offers helpful advice for getting teams on board. Download it for free using the link in the description, and thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. All right, now let's level up to AI workflows. So automation is great for simple stuff, but what if you needed to actually read and think? That's where AI workflows come in. This is where we build on our simple automation. AI workflows connect tools like ChatGPT and Claude and automations into a sequence that handles more complex processes. Think of it like an assembly line. Each station does its job in a predefined order. But now one of those stations is an LLM, or the brain, that can read, understand, categorize, and summarize data. Let me show you how we upgrade our customer request example. All right, so we've got our same scenario. The customer fills out a form, that's our trigger, but now we upgrade the system. Instead of just checking which button they clicked, we send the entire message to an LLM like Claude or ChatGPT. The LLM reads the full message, understands the context and tone, categorizes it appropriately, and then routes it to the right team. You can see we've added an AI node right here. We selected our model, our LLM of choice, in this case it was ChatGPT. We added some memory to it so it remembers context across interactions, and then we added a prompt telling it what we need it to do. This is called a system prompt. So now someone fills out the form, our trigger, then the second step is that the request will be sent to ChatGPT. It'll analyze whether or not it's a sales or customer service request. Then based on the category the model returns, the workflow adds a tag so the request goes down the right path. The next step is going to be the exact same as it was before. So if it's true, if it is a sales email, it goes down the sales path. If false, if it's a customer service email, it goes down the other path. And we'll draft an email to the right team that has the request from the form. See the difference? We've created a path for the AI to follow. The LLM reads and understands the form, but you told it what to do with that information. So now, even if someone filled out the wrong form, the LLM can actually read the contents of the email and correctly route it to the right team, sales or customer support. But here's the key difference. The human, you, still defines the path. You're still the manager. The AI is a smart tool on your assembly line. You told it read this message, categorize it, and then send it to the appropriate team. The AI is following your instructions intelligently. Now, this is powerful, but there's still a limitation. What if the customer asks something that requires a bit of research on the web? The LLM can read that question, it can categorize it as a support issue, but you didn't give it access to a tool to actually look up the answer. It can only do what you programmed it to do. And that's where level 3 changes everything. Here's where everything changes. And this is the most important concept in this entire video. The big shift from a workflow to an agent is when the LLM starts making most of the decisions about what to do next, instead of you manually defining every step. The LLM replaces you as the manager. So what are AI agents? AI agents are systems that interpret inputs, make decisions, plan actions, and use tools autonomously. They handle complexity, uncertainty, and ambiguity. Here are the 3 key traits of an AI agent. They reason, they think about the best approach. They act using different tools, so they execute. And they iterate, so they review and improve until they're satisfied. Here's what AI agents can do that workflows can't. They can take multiple steps in a sequence or parallel. They can manage some uncertainty. They can handle more edge cases than simple workflows. And they can adapt as conditions change, at least when they're well designed and tested. Okay, let me show you what this looks like with our same customer request example. All right, so we have our same form scenario here. But now, instead of programming every step, you're going to give the agent a goal. To do this, we're going to upgrade our system prompt to give the AI that goal with specific instructions on what we need it to do, and we need to add a tool to actually search the internet. We can connect a tool like Perplexity through an API so that the agent can actually look things up in real time. For this agent, we'll give it the goal to answer a sales and customer service related question by searching the internet if needed, and then draft and send personalized emails directly to customers. So here's how the agent works. First, it reasons. It reads the form and thinks, what does this customer need? This looks like a pricing question. I should search for that information. So it's deciding what steps to take, not following the steps that you programmed. It'll then dynamically search the internet to find the answer for that specific question. Once it has that response, it'll decide if it needs to do further research. And that's where the magic starts. The agent doesn't just stop there. It'll continuously act again and again until it's happy with the response. And once it has all the information that it needs, it'll draft a personalized email and then send it directly to the customer. And all of this happens automatically. The agent makes every decision. Now here's the reality check. This is powerful, but it also comes with risks. Agents can make mistakes. If you build a fully autonomous customer service agent, it may issue a full refund when it really should have issued a replacement. It might completely misunderstand the customer. This is why you need guardrails, controls, and extensive testing. You need rules like never issue refunds over $100 without human approval. Or, if unsure, flag for human review. And of course, you need to test. But when set up correctly with the right guardrails, agents can be very powerful. Okay, let's lock this in. Here are all 3 levels together so you can see the differences between them. Okay, here's how I think about this, and this is going to make everything click. Level 1 is like a vending machine. You press button A, you get item A every time. No thinking, completely predictable. Level 2 is like an assembly line with a smart station. One station can read and make decisions, but the conveyor belt still moves in the direction that you assigned. You control the flow. And level 3 is like a personal assistant. You say, I need to be in New York next Tuesday, and it figures out the flights, hotel, calendar, transportation, the works. You gave it a goal, and it managed the entire process. And here's the critical difference one more time. Levels 1 and 2, you are the manager. Level 3, AI is the manager. Now let's talk strategic value here. What is the actual business value of automations and AI agents? Now there's 5 core value pillars here. Number 1 is time and leverage. So you can automate repetitive tasks and your team focuses on high value work. Number 2 is cost reduction. So you can reduce human error and have less manual work. You have the same team, but you can actually have more output. Number 3 is speed and responsiveness. 24/7 availability, instant decisioning, and minimal wait times. Number 4 is consistency and quality, so having standardized output every time, no variation. And number 5 is scale, scaling your output without proportionally more people, so you can handle 10 times the volume without 10 times the team. Now, here are 3 examples of AI agents that you could build. You could build a resume analyzer agent, so it could read resumes, score candidates, and email results. You could build a CFO agent, so something that categorizes expenses, flags anomalies, and creates summaries. Or you could build a lead qualification agent that scores leads, routes to pipelines, and triggers sequences. These examples demonstrate those 5 pillars in action. So you might be thinking, which level do I need for my work? Well, here's the framework. Use level 1 automation when your rules are clear, your steps never change, your data is structured, you don't need reasoning or thinking, and the process is repeatable. Use level 2 AI workflows when you need intelligence, reading, understanding, but the process is still linear and predictable. You design the path, but the AI does the work. And use level 3 AI agents when reasoning is essential, your data is unstructured, the task is unpredictable, and you're willing to invest in building guardrails and testing. Now, how do you know if something's worth automating at all? Look for these automation signals. Your task is really repetitive, so you're doing the same task over and over, daily, weekly, constantly. You're copying information from one system and pasting it into another. You're constantly forwarding things to the right people. This goes to Sarah, that goes to Mike, this one goes to finance. So basically triaging things. The task that you need to get done has highly predictable outcomes, so the result is almost always the same, with very few exceptions. And you know exactly when it starts and exactly what the final result should be. You have clear processes and procedures all mapped out. A clear start and end point for how the work actually gets done. Now, you don't need all of these. Just a couple of these signals could mean that you have something that's a pretty good candidate for automation. But just because you can automate everything doesn't mean that you should. Automate strategically. Focus on high-value outcomes, processes tied to increasing revenue, reducing expenses, time-wasting tasks. But high-value clients might need that human touch. So always think about the risks of if it fails. You need to make sure you have the guardrails in place. And here's the truth. 80% of your tasks can be solved with simple workflows. So don't overcomplicate. Most people jump into, I need an AI agent, but start simple and level up only when you need to. Now, if you're using AI in any part of your workflow, then you'll need to watch out for these challenges. The first one is data and integration. Most business data is scattered across systems, and connecting everything can be expensive and brittle. This is why agents built into your existing tools like CRMs, for example, work better. The next challenge is security and prompt injection. But if you give the LLMs access to your data, prompt injection could result in LLMs exposing company information. Now, if you're not familiar with what prompt injection is, it's when someone sneaks malicious or misleading instructions into an AI's input so that it ignores its original rules and behaves in unintended ways. So, designing proper guardrails is one of the most important things that you can do when working with any LLM. And the third challenge is reliability and error compounding. So AI is not perfect, and if there are small errors, these can compound across multi-step tasks. So this is where you need to tightly control tasks with human review at key checkpoints. Agents are powerful, but still brittle and hard to operationalize at scale. This is why our philosophy in 2026 is workflow first, agent light, not autonomous agents everywhere. We always have to ask, how do we make sure this operates as intended? This is where controls and guardrails matter. Many tools you already use are starting to ship more agent-like features built in, but you still need to make sure that you have the right guardrails in place. All right, so here's your action plan. Your first step is to map one simple process. Pick something like lead capture, data capture, CRM entry, qualification, email sequences, etc. Write down every manual step. Those are your automation opportunities. The next step is to check for automation signals. Do you have a couple of those signals? Repetitive tasks, predictable outcomes, a clear starting and end point, a clear understanding of the task that you need to get done. After you figure out whether you have automation signals, then decide which level you need. If you have clear rules and steps that never change, level 1. If you needed to read and categorize but the process is linear, level 2. If it requires real decision making and has unpredictable inputs, level 3. Most of the time, you'll need level 1 or 2. Once you figure out what level of automation you need, then the next step is to choose your tool. Zapier is good for simple automations and beginners. N8N is another option that handles all 3 levels. And if you need completely custom coded systems, then you can use LangChain or LangGraph. And finally, start strategically. And if you're building an agent, remember guardrails, testing, and tackle low stakes tasks first. Also, remember to do an audit of your existing tools first. Does your CRM already have agent features? Start there. Build custom only if you need to. Here's the thing. AI agents and automations are quickly becoming one of the biggest shifts in how businesses work. The tools are getting better, the barriers are getting lower, and the businesses that actually learn to use them strategically are going to have a serious competitive advantage. If you're a commercial-sized business that needs help with governance and implementation, you can definitely book a call with us. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you want to learn more about how to set up your very first AI agent, then watch this next video.